Hey there guys, Next Strike here, back again for another video, and today it starts the first of a new series I'm doing where I look at negative comments on past videos and respond to them live on camera, because we all know how funny it is to watch YouTube drama unfold. And as many of you have the privilege of knowing, this first episode is about my review of Beware the Batman Episode 1, where I reviewed Episode 1 in a very negative manner. And to my surprise, many people liked it. In fact, some people went so far as to defend it and slander me in the process. So today I'll be looking at the many concerns that many of the commenters had. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy. On to the first point.
Quite a few individuals felt I hated on the show because Young Justice was cancelled. I wish it were that simple, my friends. I simply didn't like the episode. After all, Young Justice and Beware the Batman haven't been proven to have anything in common as far as programming is concerned, though I have my doubts. Why? Because whoever runs DC Nation is a moron. Simple as that. I mean, even when the good shows were on, they had no idea how to advertise or put them on a regular schedule. Was this Time Warner's fault? DC's fault? Cartoon Network's fault? Or someone else's fault? Well, no one really knows for sure. But regardless, I still didn't like this episode. Now, as you'll notice, I did leave my comment there to be fair. After all, this is an open discussion. Well, sorta. Thanks, Robertson, by the way. I really appreciate all the fans that defend my opinion.
On to the second concern that many of my fans had.
The differences in the source material. This guy believes that I hated the show because I didn't like change. Not really a hate comment, but people did bring this up, so I figured I might as well discuss it. The reason I didn't like it isn't because it changed the source material, but because it didn't execute it properly. Shows like Teen Titans changed a lot of things, yet it still held the essence and spirit of the source material. Though there were some changes in Teen Titans that I didn't like that much, and some that I did. Batman Beyond was a new continuity, so it can't really be included here. There were also many comparisons to Beware the Batman and Batman Earth 1. The difference being, the show didn't do it right. Want to see changes to Batman that I love? Check out Nolan's Batman movies or Flashpoint. So to summarize, I just didn't like the approach they took with the series. Making Batman a rookie despite years of brutal training and knowing over 100 different types of martial arts, yet still, of course, being a rookie, and making Alfred a retired agent who still makes stupid mistakes like calling his cell phone with the name Bruce that normal Alfred just wouldn't make.
Alright, now we get into the fun ones, folks. Brace yourself. The next big concern is the picture frame.
I'm not sure if this is a sick joke or what, but it's getting annoying fast. Quite frankly, I'd say this is mentioned only because haters want to get under my skin. Or rather, one hater. I think it's just him, but whatever. The picture frame is fixed now. Happy?
Okay, now we can get serious, guys. This next point I see quite a lot, and I'll probably have to go over it more than once in the same video. And it's that I'm not allowed to have an opinion of the series other than utter love and respect.
Let's take a step back, shall we? You guys all know the classic Shakespeare play Hamlet, right? Well, while many people loved it, I didn't. In fact, I found it kind of overdramatic and boring at times. Does that mean it sucks? Without any doubt, all because someone on the internet has a different opinion? No. It's a form of art that people looked into and interpreted in many different ways. Now, while I wouldn't call this show art, many people will view it in many different ways. Just know, guys, that no matter how I feel about a series when it ends or even on the next review, just know that you are allowed to feel differently than I am and can disagree with my points, not just on this show, but with anything. Just be civil about it, okay? No need for unnecessary hate. Just state your opinions like I have. However, remember that I'm also allowed to have an opinion. And if I'm acting mad or crazy in a video, just remember that it is acting. I'm only partially insane, I promise.
This next one is a real doozy, folks. This is what you might call a guy who takes YouTube videos just a little bit too seriously. Our conversation was fun, to say the least. Although he did bring up a lot of other complaints that other people had throughout the comment section, so it's nice to take care of them all in one go.
So aside from name calling, this guy pretty much had a problem with everything I said. Of course, since I'm showing the comments, you guys will already know where I'm going with this, but I'll re-elaborate to further my argument. His first point was that he hated me hating on Professor Pig and Mr. Toad and thinking that they would be main characters. Well, here's what I have to say about that. They are stupid. I'm sorry, but they are. Every hero has a few stupid villains that are unpopular for a reason. Here are two of Batman's. I hated their motivation, their character designs, and the way they talked. The rhyme was just so annoying. It wouldn't have mattered if they were in the Dark Knight. If they had acted just like that, I would hate them all the same. As for thinking they would be the main villains, well, every promo and ad I saw had only them. So blame whoever made the promo, not me. His second point was that I hated CGI and had a huge bias because of it. Okay, this is partially my fault. Now I don't remember exactly what I said in this video because it's pretty old at this point. However, let it be known that I don't hate CGI altogether. I hate poorly drawn CGI, like this show. The characters look like they're all made out of clay or something, no definition whatsoever. Also note that the models look worse than the ones in early Batman TV shows. That's bad. Now looking at something like Pixar, you can see how good CGI can be. Of course, this show doesn't have the budget of a Pixar movie, but plenty of TV shows in CGI form look fine to me. However, I do still prefer hand-drawn animation. Call me old-fashioned, but I'm big on art and hand-drawn always looks superior. If you don't like my stance on that, then sue me. The line continues to grow every day. He also mentions that I don't like the voices and I give bad reasoning behind my opinions. IDK if it's just me, but it's hard to describe why a voice doesn't work. It either fits or it doesn't fit. I'll try my best to explain this though. Starting with Batman. I'm actually starting to get used to the Batman voice. It just sounds more like a young Batman and it fits well. However, I don't like the Bruce Wayne voice. Why? Because it sounds too much like Batman. He always acts serious and is never trying to fool anyone with an alter ego of a billionaire playboy. This becomes more problematic in episode 2, but we'll get there in the review next time. Alfred, well, just doesn't sound like a caring butler. He sounds kind of fake to me. He sounds like an emotionless human being. In fact, his character in general, I just don't like in this series. He's always trying to train Bruce and test him, yet Bruce has had far more training than him and should be able to break almost anyone in his path. Yet somehow, Alfred comes off as stronger and more experienced while he still makes really dumb rookie mistakes along the way, while Batman sucks at fighting. Makes no sense, people. You have to understand that Bruce already has the skills and the training of a home killer. He just needs practice at being Batman himself, climbing walls, going easy on thugs, etc. Now this next one I get more than anything, or so it seems. I hated the intro and promo, so I have a bias of hating it no matter what. That's an understandable concern, but let me explain this. When you go to a movie, what do you see? Well, unless you're sucking on someone's face the entire time, which is understandable to an extent, you see trailers. Now, is it okay to form opinions based on trailers, or should you live in a box until it comes out? The answer is obvious, and that's what's happened with this show. I read the press release, I kept up with the info, and I saw early footage. All of it was unimpressive, so I decided to rant numerous times about it. Now, does that mean that my opinion is set in stone? Not necessarily. When I saw the first trailer for The Last Airbender, I thought it looked amazing and was super hyped. I remained excited until I saw the movie, though. Then, I wanted to kill myself. How about Iron Man 3? It looked epic, and yet I didn't like it much at all. So as you guys see, or at least I hope you can see, I'm not a closed-minded individual. I can change my opinion if said thing is different than I thought it would be. Heck, I enjoyed most of the reboot of Tim Drake's character in the New 52, and he's my favorite Robin, aside from Dick Grayson, of course. Now, most of the rest of this conversation was us replying and him calming down. However, there was one thing he said that I need to address, and that is not being specific in my review. Many have cried endlessly about this, so I decided to be extremely specific in my next review. I'll even show a little footage just to shut some people up. That won't be a regular thing though because of copyright, and I just don't know how to take video from the internet and insert it into my videos. I'm learning as I go, what can I say? Anyway, I never typically go microscopic on my reviews for a lot of reasons. Now that I have some new software though, I can take my time a little more and be somewhat specific on things that I normally would brush over. If I do feel that does need to be talked about though, I won't talk about it. That's just me though. Feel free to comment below and tell me some things I should improve upon if you're a longtime fan. Constructive criticism is always welcome, and I do miss things and make mistakes. Here's another argument similar to the previous one just for giggles.
Here's the final complaint I received, to my knowledge.
Batman hiding. Now this is due to me reading tons of comics, watching the movies, playing the games, and watching the cartoons. So basically from being a big fan. The reason I had a problem with this scene is that Batman was in a small wreck, and yet he was totally destroyed. Well, sorta. He hides from these villains who have hostages and lets them get away, and then he passes out. Now, if you know anything about Batman, he can survive a wreck and be totally fine. His car is highly armored, as is his costume, so it protects him from these things. I've seen it lots of times, so I'm not just making this up. And by this show's logic, if he has a fancy Batmobile, then shouldn't he have fancy armor? Anyway, this next part really gets me every time. After they leave and he doesn't put a tracker or something on them, he just passes out. Why? If he was that injured, shouldn't he have passed out as soon as he wrecked? That whole scene just baffles me. Batman could take clowns like this in a second in fighting, but for plot reasons he mysteriously doesn't. So what I meant to say was, he does hide, but he never hides for long. He always confronts the enemy. This Batman just hid and, well, didn't do anything about it. Well, that's about it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown of my rant. Let's just try not to go any deeper, or else no one will sue me, that, or I'll never wake up. Probably both. As to why I'm reviewing episodes 2 and 3, well, surprisingly, the haters wanted me to, so I guess I might as well give this show at least 2 more chances, right? Anyways, I will be doing my Q&A with screenshots just like this, as well as my responses to video comments like this video. So if you enjoyed this, then you'll probably enjoy those too. Anyway, that's it for now, guys. Catch you later.